just sat on the threshold. Oh, cocksucks. Sorry about that. Electrics. Let's get down to it. Can't see anything. No, sorry. So, this is our electrical setup. It took, I don't even know how long. We started it in February.
Yeah, I mean, it probably took a few weeks in total, but that was spread over quite a few months to do everything.
Yeah, so we did it sort of in stages. I mean, I don't even know what's on that board, to be fair. We did this stuff first, didn't we?
Yeah, so we started off by doing this board over here. I did some of it just out of the van, and then some of it had to be connected up when we actually got into the van. Yeah. So we have two 230 amp hour 24 volt leisure batteries from Fogstar. We have a Lynx distributor. We have a 7515 MPPT for the solar and a solar switch. All of our grounding is behind here, which goes to a grounding bit on the van there. Because we have 24 volt leisure batteries, we have a 24 to 12 volt converter at the back that then goes to the 12 volt fuse board, and we also have a converter for our inverter as well, because we have a little trickle charger, so that takes the 24 volt from the trickle charger down to the 12 volt of our starter battery. We have two the 1400 DC-DC battery DC-DC chargers. We also then have our 3000 volt amp multi-plus inverter and our two consumer units, plus obviously all the switches and fuses and all of that. We used Noma to give ourselves the information we needed, because neither of us knew anything about van electrics.
Nope.
Or where to start, so they were brilliant. And Huey has been wonderful with any kind of issues or questions we've had. We had things like when the batteries we first started using them, they weren't charging at the same rate, so we asked him, and apparently that is something that quite often happens with batteries for the first few cycles, and then they kind of even out, which they have. Yeah, he's been on call all the time to help us with any problems.
Highly recommend Noma.
Yeah.
Although that's the electric setup that we've got, what we actually have is solar panels. So they're 175 watt panels.
Yes,
two of them,
top.
Which I can show you. And then we've got, as Nikki mentioned, DC to DC charging, which goes all the way along the side of the van up to the front behind driver's seat over here. And then we've also got shore power, which you can't see it from this side, which can be plugged in right there. In addition to that, we've got a diesel heater that's being powered by all of this, and we've got two USB and USB-C sockets, as well as two normal 24 230 volt sockets. So those are two of those here, one of those over there, and that's the diesel heater. And then we've got the light switch and the other socket over there, and then obviously the lights. But other than that,
we got a fridge as well we're putting in.
Yeah, then we've got the fridge as well. So it might seem like a pretty big setup for short wheelbase high roof van with only those bits needed for electrics, but the idea is that we can be off grid for at least 3 days if we're somewhere in the 90% range. So hopefully we're going to test that out in the next few weeks, aren't we? See if we can actually be off grid for that long. with only moving around a little bit, solar, but no output, input charging. So we'll see if that works. We did video the whole process of doing the electrics, or Nikki did. So I'll put that in the clips now so you can see sort of how we put it all together, in what order, so on and so forth. So here you go. told. Oh, cocksacks. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that's our electrical system. Any questions? Give us a shout. Nikki did it all. I had no part in it whatsoever. I basically just nodded and said yes and came and helped whenever you needed a bit of extra hands. So I did nothing.
Yeah, I definitely made quite a few mistakes.
It's all about
Misjudged
learning.
cable lengths. You know, you measure it twice and then it doesn't actually end up being the length that you thought it was, and
I would have
had
no
to
help.
rejig a few things, but it wasn't too bad.
No, it's really good, and it is a pretty big system for a van of this size, but I think it's going to be great for when we do extensive off-grid times. So yeah, it should be great. Any questions, give us a shout. Thanks, bye.